Some people question their parents and they aren't convinced. And yet they continue doing it, maybe because of peer pressure, maybe because they're afraid that they cannot go against their parents. But on the other hand, some people who, when they question their parents and they aren't convinced, then they change their ideology and they change their behavior. So these people, again, out of free will, they're changing. So you can't say for sure that just because the mother is wearing hijab, the daughter wears, that means no free will. And if mother doesn't wear hijab and then daughters wear, then it's free will. This is totally wrong. But even if I agree with Kabir, in the Islam Research Foundation, there are hundreds or maybe 1,000 girls who are not wearing hijab and their mothers don't wear hijab, but after coming to our foundation, hundreds and thousands of them, within few weeks or couple of months, they have started wearing hijab. So if his definition that if the mother doesn't wear and the daughters wear means free will, so by free will, in Bombay itself, only coming by our foundation, hundreds and thousands have started wearing hijab. And furthermore, many of the ladies, after watching my programs on the satellite channel, maybe hundreds and thousands of them have started wearing hijab. Not in India, throughout the world. So if this is his definition of free will, then alhamdulillah, when these logical people, when they hear the logical reason why hijab should be worn. So unfortunately, I do agree that the majority in India, they wear hijab as part of culture, or they wear hijab because it's a religion, without knowing the reason. Some of them, after learning the reason, they continue. But the point to be noted is that if we convince the youngsters and the ladies with reason, logic and science why hijab is worn, and the reason of hijab in Islam is to protect the woman, then I feel majority, if not all, the ladies who are logical, they will wear the hijab. That's the reason. There are many non-Muslims accepting Islam throughout the world. And amongst the people accepting Islam, whether India or abroad, 2/3 of them are women. So if hijab subjugates the woman, then why are the American women who are accepting Islam? Why are the European women who are accepting Islam, they are adorning hijab? So hijab is there to protect the woman, and everyone has a right to agree or disagree. And based on that, but if you speak logically and if you explain Islam to them logically, I feel majority of the humans will agree with the points that I mentioned in Islam.
Jazakallah, Dr. Zakir. We have 2-3 comments, on the web. We have Mehnaz Chi, who says, I completely agree. Dr. Naik deserves to be in a better place, and the lady, Barkha Dutt, seemed to have no knowledge of who Dr. Naik is.
I disagree with that statement.
Dr. Zakir disagrees.
Barkha Dutt will surely be knowing who I am. That is the reason they had me on the show. That is the reason when she spoke to me the first time in the show, she said that you come on TV more than me.
Alhamdulillah.
And when she asked the third question, she said that I know that you love answering questions from the audience. So I disagree with that statement that she doesn't know me. She knew me, but she being an expert moderator, she really moderated, not with honesty, but she had a point of view. And as I said earlier, that it depends upon the integrity and the sincerity of the moderator and the producer to project the people who are there on the show.
I think the sister's misunderstanding stands corrected. We have Nadia Jamal, who says, I totally agree. Dr. Zakir hardly was given the chance to speak, and Brother Zakir in future should avoid sharing the stage with Jahil Muslims, especially like Soha Ali Khan and Kabir Khan, who don't even know what Islam is all about, and were arguing that Muslim lady wears hijab only if she sees her mother wearing it. I have no idea in what kind of a world they are living. New generation are more practicing than their parents, I believe, alhamdulillah. And truly I found Soha and Kabir highly disgusting. They are not Muslim, so why to call them for discussions on Muslims? And lastly, we have Arshad Hussain Sheikh, who says, Lady Barkha is a commercial commodity, and so is SRK, Kabir, Soha and Karan. Don't these guys seriously, folks? Little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Their opinions don't make a tiny bit difference towards what Islam and Muslims stand for. There is no other interpretation of Islam and a Muslim other than what is said in the Holy Quran. See more Quran and the Hadith. Either you are in or you are out of the circle. There is no room for so-called moderate or liberal Islam or a Muslim, and there is no such word called extremist or fundamentalist. Rightly said by Dr. Zakir that either you practice or you don't. Simple as that. I think Dr. Zakir would like to comment something on that.
The person has given the right analogy.
Maybe what I'm just putting across is straightforward comments, of the people. Some may be right, some may not be right, but that is their opinion.
I say you either say he's a Muslim or a pseudo-Muslim. Muslim or pseudo-Muslim. Or you can say who is a practicing Muslim, partially practicing Muslim, or non-practicing Muslim. So non-practicing Muslim can be called a pseudo-Muslim, right terminology. There's nothing like moderate Muslim. No, Muslims, if he's a Muslim, he's moderate. And you can't say a person is an extremist Muslim. And I say I'm an extremist Muslim. I'm extremely kind, I'm extremely merciful, I'm extremely loving, I'm extremely just, I'm extremely honest. So to be a practicing Muslim, you have to be an extremist. You can't say I'm partially honest. When it benefits me, I'm honest. When it does not benefit, I'm not honest. So these are terminologies, loose terminologies made by people and how it has evolved. So these loose terminologies used by the media, extremist and fundamentalist, these, if you go back into history, they were used for somebody else earlier. If you have heard my talk on terrorism and jihad, etc., and I've clarified that this word fundamentalist was first used for the Christians. Those who believe that the message of the Bible is not from God, every word, every letter is from God. And now today, in the new definition of Oxford Dictionary, the fundamentalists mean a person who strictly adheres to the ancient teachings of any religion. The new definition is slightly changed, that fundamentalist is a person who strictly adheres to the ancient doctrines of religion, especially Islam. So though it was used in the early part of the 20th century for the Christians, today it's used for the Muslims. So this is how they keep on changing. But really fundamental is the person who follows the fundamentals. So if you have to be a good Muslim, you have to follow the fundamentals of Islam. If you have to be a good Hindu, you have to follow the fundamentals of Hinduism. If you have to be a good mathematician, you have to follow the fundamentals of mathematics.
Jazakallah, brother Zakir. Any further questions from brothers here? Yes, brother, we'll just ask. Then we'll come back on the front.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
My name is Farhan and I'm a student. Kabir Khan alleged that the definition of Islam that you gave was too narrow. So I would like to know your comments on that. Like, does the definition of Islam, what you said, does it change or it remains the same?
The brother asked that Kabir Khan said that definition of Islam is very narrow. I said Islam means a person who submits his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you want to know the meaning of a word, any word, where do you look? Look in the dictionary. If you want to know the meaning of any English word, you go to dictionary. You don't just say it off the cuff. And if you want to verify whether the person has said right or wrong, go to the dictionary. So you open any Arabic dictionary. Islam comes from the root word salam, which means peace, or salam, which means peace. It's also derived from the Arabic word silm, which means to submit your will to God. Submit. So Islam actually means peace acquired by submitting your will to God. And anyone who submits his will to God is called as a Muslim. So this is an Arabic word. I don't know how much does Kabir Khan know about Arabic. So a person who does not know Arabic, you ask him the meaning of Arabic word, it is like the person said, you're asking a driver about the treatment of medical disease. I don't know how much Arabic does Kabir Khan know. And what right does he have to comment on Arabic word which he doesn't know? So this is how the media, a person doesn't know Arabic and you're asking the meaning of an Arabic word. So what we realize that if you want to know, you go to the authentic sources. And the best definition to know about Muslim is go to the Quran. Quran says that many places about Muslim, call yourself Muslim means one a person who bows to the will of Allah. In Surah Al-Imran chapter 3 verse 64 and many other places. Hope that's.
Yes. Any further questions? Yes.